Well, stomp, stomp, f***ers. It's time we talk about Warhammer 40K Space Marine. Have you ever wanted to be a 2,000-pound, chonky boy, bad boy man equipped for war in much the same way an actual tank is, assuming that tank was sentient and had the capacity to think thoughts and feel feelings? But don't worry, the thoughts and feelings are stuffed way, way down under layers of muscle and appropriately channeled rage, stuffed way down where those feelings can't get to you and cause you to dwell on the fact that sometimes life is hard and you feel scared and maybe you just want to be vulnerable, but mostly mainly the human tank thing. Is that you? Maybe a little bit. As my journey into the Warhammer universe continues, it's time for wow! I'm going to start with a spoiler-free overview of my impressions, but then we're going to dive into the epic tale that is 40K Space Marine. I'll give you a warning before I start dropping spicy melt-a-bombs all over the place.
Or will I?
I will. I will. Wow. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, Jeff, Space Marine? That doesn't come out until later this year. Newsflash, pal. That's the sequel, Space Marine Dose. And it looks glorious. The original title, released in 2011 and developed by Relic Entertainment, obviously doesn't offer the same kind of fidelity nowadays, but it's nothing to sneeze at either. Space Marine holds up. I played the Anniversary Edition on Steam, and it looks great throughout. Plus, there were some sections that I thought looked outstanding in the overall art direction. I mean, look at the design, the lighting, the feel of stomping through these spaces. And that's the key thing here, the stomping. Or more accurately, the way the game places you into the gratuitously stompy boots of an Ultramarine. Listen to this. This dude couldn't sneak up on a nuclear explosion. Walk a mile in his shoes and you'll be like, what? Huh? Could you please speak up? I can't hear you over the deafening sound of my own casual stroll. But being this big, loud super soldier is so much fun, and the gunplay holds up really well. And while it doesn't tread new ground, in a way it scratches a similar itch to games like Gears of War or Vanquish, except there is no cover system because you're a Space Marine, not a little baby bag bitch. Add to the gunplay a healthy dose of combo-based melee combat, replete with executions that regen your health, and yeah, baby. There is something incredibly cool about unleashing a hail of gunfire downrange, only to turn around and chop through the bastards dumb enough to approach the whirling dervish of destruction that is Captain Titus of the Ultramarines. This game is all about guns that go boom and gore that goes ugh, yuck. Again. This is not a long campaign, this is a thrill ride. This is action, action, action. According to Steam, it took me just under 7 hours to beat the game, and that's without touching the multiplayer, which I'm going to assume is dead. And the pace of this game is pretty perfect, pal. You're consistently given new weapons in the first half, and even once you've earned them all, the game regularly offers you the chance to swap your arsenal around, allowing you to mix and match 4 guns and 1 melee. When you blend a large pool of weapons with the enemy variety available here, you end up with something that former First Lady Martha Washington famously called the sweetest of spots. It's right there. I don't think the guns sound quite as good as they do in Warhammer Bolt Gun, where they sound like a maestro is conducting a symphony of carnage. But they sound, they go boom good. And plus there are a couple sections where you get a jump pack and a thunder hammer. It does not get old. That dog will hunt. This game also has the big thing that I think keeps drawing me into Warhammer. Moments of delightful levity. Warhammer is dark, grimdark, and it gets so dark to the point of being absurd. And yet it is very self-aware. For example, here are orcs strapped to cartoon rockets, and I get to shoot them down with the bolter equivalent of a 50 cal. This is brilliantly conceived, and that's all there is to it. No arguments. Now I want to pivot here and talk about the story for a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean the rest of the video. This game has been out since 2011, and I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. This is your only warning. We're going to talk about this game right up to the very end. So if you want a recap or maybe a refresher before Space Marine 2 arrives, this is for you. If you plan on playing this game and don't want spoilers, ta-ta, get out of here. Go on, go watch my 40K Darktide video. For the rest of you, the story of Space Marine, which, fun fact, takes place on the same planet as Bolt Gun, just a few years earlier. Okay, so if I get any of the lore wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm fairly new to 40K, but I'm willing to learn. I'm using the lore videos for my sleepy time white noise. That's commitment. Spoilers incoming! Space Marine starts with the Imperial bureaucracy being like, oh shoot, we're losing a planet that manufactures our giant war machine Titan thingies to some filthy orcs. Better send in our boys in blue. That's us, the Ultramarines. The player character is Captain Titus, and to once again quote the late Martha Washington, Captain Titus is a beefy, brutal, Billy badass. Along for the ride is your best friend, Sergeant Sidonis, and this creature, Leandros. He sucks. I hate him. I try to minimize the amount of cursing I do in these videos, and I've been saving them for Leandros. What a stupid fucker. I would belly crawl a mile over broken glass just to wish this guy a bad day. I would rather launch 1,000 puppies into the sun than even risk sharing oxygen with this absolute hunk of shit. And you can help! Donate your puppy today. Only 999 more needed to reach our goal. We'll take big dogs, little dogs, bad dogs, good dogs. We just need warm doggy bodies to rocket into the heart of the fiery sun. But no hot dogs, no hot dogs. We don't accept hot dogs. Stop sending us hot dogs. We don't accept hot dogs. Stop sending us hot dogs, Brian G. from South Dakota. It wasn't even funny the first time. We're looking for regular canine puppies. Donate your pupper pal today. Just call 1-800-JKJK. It's just a joke. I love my dog. Anyway, Titus, Sidonis, and Leandros enter the atmosphere and take down an orc gunship controlled by Grimskull.
Get off my ship, Space Marine!
The orc war boss, who is gonna keep popping up. Titus crashes the orc ship onto the planet. Then they hook up with the Imperial Guard and the surviving ranking officer, Second Lieutenant Mira. And with the info they get from her, they decide to go take down a giant gun that the orcs have commandeered to stop the orbiting Imperial reinforcements from landing planetside. So you go do that. You slaughter a whole mess of orcs, blow the gun up with a melt-a-bomb, and catch a train over to the Titan factory. Once there, a servitor skull, which I don't even want to explain what that is, gives you a help me Obi-Wan style message from Inquisitor Drogon. Basically, the orcs are about to steal a really big Titan, come quick. You get there and find out that Drogon is actually trying to protect an experimental power source, and he needs your help to retrieve it. You fight your way to that dang power source and you race Grimskull, the war boss, to get your hands on it first. Literally, you grab it and it causes the whole place to blow up, but you survive. However, you're separated from the others. Little Titus is all alone. So you take a detour through the Ninja Turtles' house, Cowabunga, and after slaughtering a few more Orky boys, you meet up with Sidonis and that loser Leandros, and together you slaughter even more Orky boys before meeting up with Inquisitor Drogon again. And the Inquisitor is like, oh shit, dude, you should be dead. I made the power source out of the warp. That's chaos energy. You can't touch the warp and live. And yet he told Titus to grab it like 2 seconds ago.
Grab it, Captain.
Something doesn't add up here. I should maybe explain that the warp is an alternate dimension of psychic energy, and it's where all the chaos gods and monsters live. ... It friggin' big time sucks. But obviously nothing bad is going to happen from this guy messing around with the warp because he doesn't look shady at all. So this guy, who is definitely on the up and up, goes, I totally shouldn't be telling you this, but we could use the warp-based power source to like obliterate all the orcs. But there's a teensy-weensy, but definitely greater than zero chance we crack the planet in half. And so of course the Ultramarines are like, hell yeah bro, let's get it done. And they do get it done. They load the power into the giant gun, what Drogon refers to as a psychic scourge. And Drogon fires the weapon at a giant orbital spire, whatever that is. But right then, the orc war boss shows back up, ready to rumble. But guess what? It was all a friggin' ruse. Drogon is long dead. A servant of chaos has been controlling his body this whole time. Ah, shoot! And tricked the Ultramarines into helping them open a portal into the Chaos Realm. Darn it all! Unleashing a horde of chaos demons that quickly dispatch old Grimskull. Massive, oof. That's a chaos sorcerer behind me. Nimroth's his name, and being a big old jerk's his game. Titus tries to grab the power source, but Nimroth is like, not today, bud. Although he is impressed that Titus can resist the warp, the Chaos Sorcerer seems pretty keen on this being the end of our intrepid Ultramarine. But just then, Grimskull returns and conveniently whisks Nimroth away, so the Ultramarines can scurry off with the power source, stepping politely around these Chaos Spawn thingies. Titus comes up with a plan to use the Titan to turn the orbital spire into smithereens and thus close the chaos gates that the possessed Drogon opened. Leandros accuses Titus of being corrupted by chaos because he can resist the warp, but Sergeant Sidonis tells him to shut the hell up, like the G that he is. That's my best friend! Anyway, you fight your way through the forces of chaos and orc alike to get to the Titan Manufactorum, where you are ambushed by Grimskull. And enough is enough, and you bring about his timely demise, all on your lonesome, by the way, against the war boss and a horde of orcs. Only to discover Sidonis and that loser Leandros are in a train car right behind the arena. What the heck, guys? I blame Leandros, of course, and if you think I'm being hard on this dumbass, just know I'm not alone. After beating the game, I did what anyone does when they are angry at something made up and inconsequential. I went to Reddit, seeking like-minded folks, and I found the subreddit Fuck Leandros. It has almost 5,000 members. I can't even imagine 5,000 members. But maybe one day. So you soldier on, you fight your way to the Titan and work with its pilot Enoch to beef it up with the power source and take out the orbital spire. That takes care of the gate. Now it's time to get the power source away from what remains of the forces of chaos. So you entrust your boy Sidonis to take the power source to an extraction point so you can secure it back at your Space Marine chapter's HQ for safekeeping. You and Leandros attempt to give Sidonis cover from the Chaos Space Marines. Unfortunately, Sidonis falls.
No!
It should have been that buffoon Leandros! Nemiroff takes the power source and he then monologues his plan to you. He's going to use the power source to become an immortal demon prince. That sounds pretty bad, don't it? So you, Titus, decide to go whoop some Nemiroff ass, all on your lonesome. Leandros is a little bitch about it and once again doubts you, but you don't pay that bozo any mind. You fight your way to Nemiroff once more, carving a path through every enemy heretic and fierce evil that gets in your way. You stomp through his minions and then you QTE his literal face off. That's the power of the B button, baby. Titus destroys the power source and survives, only to be betrayed by Leandros. This freaking traitor scum betrays you to the Inquisition and tells them you've been corrupted by chaos. Straight baloney, my guy. But under threat of having the Imperial Inquisition destroy all the Ultramarines present, and all the Imperial Guardsmen in Mira's command, Titus agrees to go into the Inquisition's custody. And that's where it ends. Titus on his way to be investigated for heresy against the Imperium, and Leandros, now a confirmed butt-sniffing, backstabbing, bootlicking L7 weenie.
I ain't finished with you yet, Space Marine!
But I'm done with you, game. Onward to Space Marine 2. It doth indeed looketh sick as hell, baby. Give it to me now. The Emperor wants me to have it.